Don't know if you guys heard me. Hi, everyone. Hi, Gamestation community. Today, we are joined by Bit Hotel. As you guys are aware, we're going to have our initial room offering, which is going to be taking place tomorrow. So if you haven't staked your gamer token, stake it. We've got the snapshot happening at 11:59 p.m. and you don't want to miss that, of course. We have the team joining us today. So I know I can see Leon on the chat so far. We've got the team joining us and they're going to run us through Bit Hotel, what we need to know. They're going to talk about the floor we've got and all that good stuff. But what we do is we have competition. So guys, you can drop in your best questions. I know thousands of you have dropped in your questions on Twitter already. You're going to have a chance to ask questions today on Telegram. Make sure you're on the chat. Make sure you're following Bit Hotel. And there's prizes to be won. Okay, so perfect. We are going to be starting now. Hi, Leon.
Hey guys, hey. Glad to be here. Thank you for joining. For the invite. All good. We're very busy. That's also why I'm probably the only one that will be present to ask questions or to answer questions. And there might be one or two colleagues hopping in when they find a moment. But I'm one of the founders. So just FYI, I started BitHotel together with our CTO, Bram, I think a little less than a year ago, and we've been building it out ever since, now over almost 200 hotel guests strong, with all kinds of exciting stuff on the horizon. So yeah, would love to delve in.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you mentioned that you're so busy. Are you going to have your camera on, Leon?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, there we go. Hey, it looks so cool where you are.
Yeah. We're on a semi-business trip. There are some conferences here, and most of the team is here now. So yeah, it's not our usual office. Our usual office is in Amsterdam. So yeah, a bit of scenery.
Yeah, wicked scenery. I like it. My scenery looks so basic compared to yours. Your scenery looks so good. So dope. Wicked scenery. Perfect. Well, thank you for being here today. You made a slight introduction of yourself. Do you want to introduce yourself, the rest of your team, maybe like briefly?
Yeah, sure. So I know that I have a co-founder. He's our CTO, Bram. And I'm more the marketing operations kind of guy. I ran multiple businesses in the past, mostly focusing on marketing. And Bram also ran a startup in the social space of automation around Instagram, Facebook, etc. And we have a whole developer team behind us as well, with by now over 7 developers. Some of which are really, really talented. Most of them include either game development or Solidity development, so smart contracts. And we have, I think I should just stick to the core team. We have a lead designer that's really experienced with the isometric type of designs that you see on our website. We have pixel art designers. We have a CFO as well as a partnerships lead who would love to join, but he's a bit busy at the moment. But that's the guy you normally see hanging around in our chats, and it's normally in the AMAs as well. And that guy's name is Creamy. You can find him on Telegram easily in the community chat of BitHotel. I think that's most of the guys. And if you're curious about the rest, you can find us on our homepage at bithotel.io. And you can even find our LinkedIn's for more background.
Brilliant. Yeah, you did a great job introducing everyone. Really, really amazing and experienced team. So thank you for introducing everyone. We'll drop your socials at the end of this AMA so people can follow you guys on Twitter, Telegram, and stay up to date with any announcements you have. So can you tell us about Bit Hotel in a bit more detail? Like, how did you start working on it? How did it all come about? Wait, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. I think you showed the trailer, right? Right before we hopped on this voice chat. We've come quite a way already. We started, I think, with an idea of this really nostalgic isometric type of art style in the game. We all used to play this game called Habbo Hotel back in the Flash game days. Most of the people that follow us also played that or at least knew it. So we're really trying to create a really fun social game with all the assets owned by the players, with a play-to-earn economy inside to really earn an income by playing, give back to the players for investing their time. And so far we have hit every milestone we set out. So we started last year August with just concepting. We quickly made a couple game development partners to really pull off AAA title that we're publishing right now, of course. And since then we've expanded our team from 4 to 5 guys up to now I think we're 23 people working on this for basically full time. So exciting stuff happened. We did a token launch Q4 last year. So in December and November, we did some private sales. We launched a token. Shortly after that, we released our staking. We held initial NFT offerings to give our future players, our community members, access to some of the assets that they will need in game, such as characters and land. In our case, rooms. And actually had our centralized exchange listing last week. I think almost half of the total token supply is already locked up in staking. So there's really a lot of long-term holders really invested in this project for the long term and eager to see what else we're building and we're making public. So far, I think that's what BitHotel is in a nutshell, and what we've achieved in the last 6 months. Would love to hear more of what you guys think and whether you have any questions on all this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that all sounds amazing. So you went from a team of 4 to a team of 23 in quite a short space of time. So busy office now. That's really, really good. It's good that you're growing so quickly, and congrats on the SEX listing. It's good that you've got a lot of people staked, because that shows the loyalty to the whole project and stuff. So that is really, really great. I'm glad that you touched up on your your milestones already. I was going to ask you a bit about your vision and mission for BitHotel in general. So what is the whole vision behind BitHotel and the whole mission behind it?
Yeah, good point. So most of these play-to-earn games, they're rather limited in scope and size, as in they're not all like a Decentraland. I think Decentraland does a lot of things well. They bring social and play-to-earn together in a nice way, but a lot of projects are more or less just a mathematical trick to give players really quick returns, and after that the token dies off and the project is seen as outdated, or it just feels repetitive. So what we're really trying to do is build this whole ecosystem of all kinds of apps that allow the player to really engage in this universe, really personalize it to their liking, really identify themselves as this in-game character, and just meet a bunch of friends, build social circles, really make it, a social network in-game with the ability to also earn income by playing, but also just having value by itself, right? We don't want an Axie Infinity type of game. Although they do a lot of things well, you shouldn't really mock them. It's just not a really fun gameplay. It's repetitive. It's people 85% of the user base is just Asian people trying to do it for a living, but it's not so fun. So we're really trying to aim for the sweet spot here of fun to play, not repetitive, like a lot of replay value, as well as making it worth for the player to reinvest and get that next rarity level of character or room, or we have more asset classes that we can talk about as well. But really having this social first metaverse with this old nostalgic look and feel that brings players back to their childhood. I think that covers most of our bases, and that's what we're doing and seeing this project heading towards.
Okay, nice. Okay, so fun to play, not repetitive, making it like really, really interactive and all that good stuff, which takes us to what a lot of people want to find out about. Let's focus on a hotel and the different rooms. So if you can explain to people how the floor designs, how players can make money, how they can make potential earnings in different rooms. If you could do the whole breakdown for everyone, that would be great.
Sure. So, we have this hotel. It's split up in many different floors. You have residential areas. You have more commercial areas. We just recently, I think in the last 3 weeks, we started having these room sales wherein players can already acquire a bit of the hotel. So it's not similar as a normal hotel where you would rent a room. In our hotel, you actually own it, and you can rent it forward to other users that might not have the cash or simply haven't played enough to acquire a room. These room sales we're holding together with partners, and it's basically the main asset that gives you so much utility in our metaverse. So with a room, you have this basically your own chat room, your own piece of land, very similar to what a piece of land would be in the sandbox or the central land, where you can of course invite your friends and host events there, but you also have then the ability to acquire furniture. And then you think, furniture sounds so boring. I'm not going to be excited about placing a chair in my room, but furniture is so much more than let's say the aesthetics or we basically design, I think, over half of our furniture to have a really comprehensive use case and add a lot of utility to it. So in our case, you'll have a bunch of furniture that you can interact with, wherein, for example, you and a friend could input one of your NFTs and have a chance to upgrade to like a higher rarity NFT or lose it. That's one of the almost crafting like systems that will really help you progress through the game and get progressively better items, as well as more bragging rights and more token earnings as well. So there's often token multipliers connected to some of the asset classes in the game, like characters. So that's really exciting. And next to that you can also commercialize your rooms by, for example, holding NFT auctions, holding these tournaments of mini games you can hold in your room to really, I would say, get a return on investment. We'll also the really cool creators in our ecosystem will also be showcased in our lobby, room directory. So players will know you own this room and you do this kind of fun stuff. We'll make sure to curate your what you're doing and give you the attention you deserve. So there's really a whole lot of options that will allow you to do with our in-game room editor, as well as just the whole mechanics we're building in that will give you just so much fun and replay value, and give you the option to really be creative with your space. So that's one of the most exciting things we've been working on the last I think 2 months. That's now really coming to fruition, and that's also why we partnered up with Gamestation to bring this to you, at least a section of it. So we are only making available one floor of the hotel for the Gamestation community to partake in and acquire a bit of the Bit Hotel for the time to come, because our beta is actually around the corner already, meaning March will have this, I would say, closed beta wherein you can sign up, and in April the first version will be released, so you can already work and partake in the ecosystem, really spawn in the lobby, talk with your friends. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it sounds really, really exciting. I was looking at the rooms, and it just sounds so exciting, the whole furniture thing where, with the whole furniture is where renters can earn, and they can earn tokens. And I like the way that you can rent out your own room and stuff. So there's quite a lot to it, even with the whole governance behind it and amplifying your earnings. There's so much people can do with these rooms. With Gamestation, we're going to have floor 20. Wait, you're still mute, right?
I confirmed it. Yeah. So you only have a subsection of the rooms that we have available. So if for example the choices that we have available on floor 20 are not exactly either your budget or the utility you wish you had, you can always wait around a bit. But you have a really, I would say, balanced subsection of the rooms on this floor, so I think there should be something for everybody. That's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really, really exciting. I was looking at the rooms and it looks wicked. So I'm really, really excited. And I know the Gamestation community are super, duper, duper exciting. So thank you so much for answering that. What I want to talk now is if you could talk about some sort of future developments we've got in place for Bit Hotel, what needs to be achieved to reach these future developments of the project?
Yeah, good question. I think it's a bit overlapping with an earlier question. So I'll just tell you some stuff that I haven't talked about. So next to the game beta and the full game release, we're also releasing our NFT marketplace in around 3 weeks. So that's start of March. So giving you trading competitions, or if you own one of our NFT assets, you'll be fairly rewarded with trading and trying to collect more assets in the ecosystem within that marketplace, or just selling your assets. That's also, of course, rewarded. Just transacting in general. So that's an interesting piece on the roadmap that's coming up. Next to that, we're launching an in-metaverse launchpad. So the first of its kind. We're basically giving only the room owners the option to partake in private sales, because as a project with a lot of partners, we see a lot of other projects coming up in the space that we're actually helping out in terms of tech. So we're helping them with their token contract, their vesting, their staking, etc., to help them get to market quicker. And in return for that, we often get an allocation rewarded to us, but we want to share that with the BitHotel community. So what we do is every room owner in the ecosystem of BitHotel, they will get the option to partake into our private sales. We only handpick and do our due diligence on the best of the best projects. You'll be able to actually walk over in-game to our Launchpad site with our rocket, actually pledge right there on the spot, and then when the hard cap reaches its limit, then the rocket will take off and the sale will be completely successful. So it's a much more fun and engaging way than just the random. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. Oh no. Finish. I was gonna say I really like it. I like how interactive you made it. Even when you talk about the rocket ship going off. Yeah, continue. It sounds really good.
Yeah. I would love to show some visuals. I'm not sure if I can share my. Yeah, I should be able to, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You're supposed to share.
Yeah, sure. Let me pull it up. But yeah, I actually have really exciting visuals on it as well. So let's see if it works.
Okay, I hope it works.
Oh, that's. Oh. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So, yeah, if you own a room, or even like private investors can own multiple rooms or specific kinds of rooms that are larger. But if you own any room, you'll be able to go to the rocket you see on your screen right here, and there will be a booth where you can pledge your preferred amount up to a certain cap to make sure everybody has an equal chance to partake. And yeah, you'll have a way more fun and engaging way of investing and seeing other projects succeed as well. So yeah, this is, as I said, first of its kind. So it's really, I think, a fun new experiment that we initiated to see if this is a viable thing for the future. But it's, I think, yeah, as you see with Facebook and Meta and just more stuff going really online in a personalized way where you have your own character and such, more of these things will start going in-game as well. And we want to be on the forefront of it. So, yeah, that's exciting. Now let's hope.
Yeah, that is super exciting. It's super futuristic as well. I really, really like what you've done that. I think that's a really, really cool idea. I love that. I want to see how that goes. That's really, really exciting. I noticed that Kareem jumped from the chat. Hi, Kareem. I can see Kareem on the chat at the moment. If he wants to jump up. But yeah, thank you so much for going into that. Okay, so let's talk about partnerships. People always want to know what partnerships we've got in play, if you've got coming up in the future, what partnerships we can be excited, if you give any exclusives. So let's talk about partnerships because we know how important they are in the crypto space.
Yeah, good point. I think our head of partnerships, Kareem, can maybe talk on it. But yeah, over the last 3 to 4 months, we have almost spoken with all the really the A-level players in the space. We're partnering with a lot of other game projects as well to make like collaborative NFTs, like cross metaverse interoperable characters, so that a soul chick, little chick character can actually be played in our metaverse, and that way you really have this interconnectivity and far more utility as well for different asset classes of different games. So that's one of the exciting things we've been working on with partners. Kareem, maybe you can talk more about the launch pads and all the Gamestation, similar to Gamestation like communities.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, we're all good. Did you hear the question?
I'm not sure. So launch pads, right?
Yeah. We'll ask them what kind of partnerships you have coming up in place, any future partnerships we should know about. So it's all about partnerships.
Sounds like you're trying to go for
trying to get some good gossip here. I'm joking.
Yeah. So it's difficult to speak around all the NDAs we have, but what's really cool is let me quote one of our advisors. When we just started Bit Hotel, we always talked about Bit Hotel being a partnership sponge, and as you can tell, like as Leon has been already talking about it, right? There's no limit to how far we can go with this. So guys, the main things we've been doing, right? We have the Launchpad partnerships, which are great. They allow new communities to join the Bit Hotel, create more exposure for us, and also allow them to have a new place to host their socials. Right? It's not just Discord or Telegram anymore. You can really have an in metaverse location for your community. Next to that, we've been doing a ton of partnerships, right, with other metaverses. We have to stick together. There's so many metaverses popping up. It's time to start, getting some value out of the collective. So, and all of these, NFTs play a huge role, right? And I think we've been doing collaborative NFT collections. So, I'm not sure if we talked about it already, but we have something cool coming up for Gamestation. And then like Gamer Girl.
So that's cool.
Sorry guys, I didn't hear you so well, but there you go. I mean, we're just gonna we keep adding value to the Bit Hotel by introducing new communities, by having new partners that can help with that, and that's just really exciting.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for touching up on that, Kareem. That's really, really exciting. And it's nice that you mentioned with the whole metaverse, you lot are coming together with other launch pads. You're not just, because sometimes stronger in numbers. So it's really, really cool that you're doing that. It sounds like you've got some cool partnerships in place. You touched up a little bit on NFTs. So we'll go into that in a second, because I would love you guys to talk us through the whole like NFT marketplace. But before we go into that, can you tell us about BTH, the utility and the tokenomics behind the token?
Sure. I'll take it, Kareem. So BTH is, of course, our main token, and it's used on a myriad of ways. Not only is it the vehicle to gain direct exposure into the success of the game as a user, it's also used in our initial NFT offering. So if you want to acquire a room, at least 50% of the times you will need some BTH to either enter the sale or to actually acquire the room. So that's one of the main use cases prior to game launch. Next to that, it's of course used in a staking tool, which you can actually get a boost in APY on with an NFT, whether that's a character or a room. You'll get a nice boost based on rarity. So that's also worthwhile. The NFT marketplace that will release soon, it will also only support BTH. So all the transactions on that marketplace, you'll need some BTH for. And then of course, will actually use a similar two-token system as Axie Infinity. So in-game, you'll earn a different token that can be redeemed for BTH. Inside of the lobby-based shop. So that's exciting. But you can also use the in-game token that you earn to purchase assets, so BitHotel assets like rooms, like characters, and then sell that on the NFT marketplace for BTH. So there's a step in between, but then you can also get to BTH. So yeah, and we also live in governance. I should not forget that. So our governance tech is also designed and just has to be coded. It can be done fairly quickly, and if our players want specific new ways to earn, or they feel like renting out doesn't make much sense, or there's different incentives for players to try and help the BitHotel ecosystem grow, then they can vote on it. And in order to gain exposure in the governance system, have voting rights, you also have to own some BTH and either stake that or partake in different in-game events. So that's another one that's quite important. But I briefly noted it, glanced over it. There will be a different in-game token, similar to how Axie Infinity's system works, just also to facilitate the growth of players. So it will be an inflationary token in game. And there's just some technical reasons for that, but that's the best way to I would say build an ecosystem like this. And that's also the reason why Axie Infinity got so big, because they know their game economy pretty well. So I think that's most of the tokenomics, token utility, and everything around that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that breakdown. I know a lot of times people ask about the staking and they're talking about different rarities and it multiplies. So I'm glad that you kind of spoke about the staking and you spoke about the governance and you explained the whole token. That is great. So now we're going to jump back into the whole NFTs. I know you guys touched upon it a few times. So can you tell us more about the NFTs that can be purchased to increase the value of the room in BitHotel, so the whole marketplace?
For sure. Yeah, Kareem, take it. You can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So in the BitHotel, we have land, which are rooms, right? That's why we're working together with Gamestation on at the moment. We have our awesome, amazing characters, NFT characters, and we have NFT furniture. The rooms are your starting point in the BitHotel. It's what you start building upon, right? It's we're doing like I say, we did the world's first IRO, initial room offering, in which you get a chance to own a piece of the BitHotel and use that as a catalyst to amplify all your earnings. So Lena already touched on the rarity models, right? So we have at the moment we have 5 rarities, and based on the rarity, you get a staking multiplier with the that's what we already have live, right? But we also have earning multipliers. So how do you earn in the BitHotel? You get you're able to rent out your room, right? So let's say you are an investor that you have some capital, but you don't necessarily feel like playing the game every day to be able to really use it to generate income from it. You rent it out to someone with less capital who's willing to put in more hours to grow out the room, and they can then use that room to host mini game events, NFT auction, NFT galleries, social events such as AMAs, discussions. So you get this really layered economical model simply out of one room. It's similar to how the real life system works, right? Like when you own a shop, then you have to rent it from the landlord, right? Who's also bought it then before. So that's the rooms, right? I mean, with the characters, it's what you need to walk around, correct? But we have added some really interesting utilities to the characters. So I've touched upon partnership characters, collaborative characters, right? But we also have our native characters. And the idea is that these characters, these NFT characters, first of all, you get to show off kind of your style. You choose a character that suits, how you'd like to present yourself. You could be the awesome Dodge father, or you could walk around like Elon Musk smoking a joint. Like, it's up to you. At the same time, these characters have utilities. They can, let's say you have a big conference room, right? Like an NFT conference room which you can host big events. Certain characters will be able to access those rooms, so they can function as keys, right? And those are some of the ways how we keep incorporating NFT technology into the metaverse. And then last part is of course furniture, right? furniture is something you earn, mostly at least, and you can fill it up your room to increase the total value of your room. But you can also use the furniture to use it as a utility. For instance, let's say you have an arcade game furniture, right? You can put it anywhere in your room, and you can invite someone to play together that game in your room. So it sounds a bit it's difficult to give a full summary, correct? Because it's just so much. But I think that's what makes it really cool as well, right? Because the utilities are just endless. So that's really exciting for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so exciting. And I think you did a great breakdown, actually. You explained it brilliantly. So that was really, really cool. It sounds really, really amazing. Even the whole furniture, the fact that you can like create your own little mini games and stuff. I think that's really going to get people involved. So I think it just sounds so cool. I don't know if you wanted to add on to that, Leon. Sorry.
No, I think he did a very good job of just glancing over all the asset classes that we have so far. And I already spoke of the Launchpad and some other extra utilities that he might have skipped. But I think that gives a well-rounded helicopter view of owning a room and owning a character and what it entails. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely a helicopter view. I like that thing. That was really cool. And thank you so much, Leon and Karim, for answering all these questions so far. It has been great that you guys have gone into detail. As mentioned before, we've had so many questions from the community on Twitter. We've had over 1,000 questions. We just picked 5 here because obviously we know that you guys are really, really busy and you're not going to be sat here all day answering all the questions. But we know people can get in touch and they can jump into your Twitter and your Telegram and ask questions anyway. So anything we don't answer, we're still going to open it up to the community later on, and they can still also ask in your community also. Okay, so are you guys ready for the Twitter questions? You're on mute, Leon, but I take it you said yes.
Let's do it.
Perfect. Okay, some of these questions I feel like you guys have answered already, actually, so I might gloss over them. But the first one was from Cowd from Twitter, and they said, will they be able to rent out a room for periods of time to players? So we've covered that, but they've asked, will there be an auction type system that allows people to offer certain amounts for your place, and the highest winner gets the room for that period of time? I think that would be really fun and profitable.
Yeah, so the auction-based system is the native system of our NFT marketplace. So people can send in an offer to actually purchase a place at first. The rental system will be released when the game is live. So first we'll just do truly transacting in terms of ownership of the NFT. But that will include an auction-based system. And for the rental system, we're just playing around with some models still. And if you guys are saying, hey, I think sending in offers for rent for a certain amount of days would be nice. Maybe similar to how an Airbnb could do it or is doing it. Then we can take a look at that. I think it's a good idea. So it makes total sense, and it would line up with our current NFT marketplace tech. That makes sense to me.
Perfect. I'm sure Kadir will be happy to hear that. Okay, perfect. So the next Twitter question was from Antonia, and they've said, do you plan to raise awareness of Bit Hotel in regions that English is not spoken very well? So do you have any local communities that are going to bring greater understanding to the whole ecosystem?
Yeah, good question. I think this is a partnership-related topic. Maybe, Karim, you can briefly tell them about the guilds we're partnering up with, as well as some media brands in the Southeast Asian region. That would be great.
Yeah, for sure. As you know, we've looked at the demographics of all these play-to-earn games, and where are really where is the NFT gaming demographic? Well, it is Southeast Asia. For some reason, and especially on mobile phones, actually, which has been really interesting. It has also been one of the reasons why we want to bring out this game on mobile, to be able to adhere to that market. And over the last 2 months, we've been actively pursuing partnerships with media partners in that area to really start marketing properly to that region and allow them to feel like this game is accessible to them, right? yeah, but as far as the gaming guilds go, that has been insane, right? The last the amount of guilds has been popping up, and with insane explosivity has been really really awesome to see. And yeah, we obviously we started a form partnership with these guilds. We also recently joined the Ferrum Gaming Guild with about 80 other gaming projects involved. Yeah, so that's been really effective.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, perfect. So it's great to know that you are going to be getting in touch with people from Southeast Asia, and that's where you've gone by. That's where you want it to be available on the phones. So you're basically going to be promoting Bit Hotel in Asia. To answer the question.
Yes, correct.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, perfect. Okay, so thanks for that. So the next question is asking about, we kind of covered this already in a way. They said, how can it earn tokens instead of buying it, and how it helped the community to promote voting power. But obviously, I know that touched upon a bit of the governance, but I don't know if you want to still answer that question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think there might have been a couple people that joined in late and maybe not heard it completely, so I can just briefly glance over it again. Basically, there's a multitude of ways to earn tokens in game, and one of them is competing against each other in our list of rotating mini games. As in, they will not be the same every week. Players can actually already vote, or not already, but can vote on which mini games we should have each week. So there will definitely be some community favorites. And yeah, by competing and earning ranks in the leaderboards, by getting more wins than losses, you'll earn tokens simply by competing itself, but also by getting these new tiers, like really rising up into the leaderboard system. You also get a bunch of tokens as well as NFTs. So NFTs is rewards as well, which can then be sold for tokens. And next to that, you can transact and trade in game openly. So if you're a collector or you just know a sneaky way around to get some quick assets in game and then trade them at the right time, you can actually amass quite a bag as well. So that's exciting. And of course, you can be creative about it as well. If you own a room, then you can host an event. Maybe you have a couple thousand followers on Twitter, and you say like, "Hey guys, you make an account on Bit Hotel. Join me at this room at this link, and let's have a chat." But entrance fee is say 100 BTH, just to know you're serious or something. That's possible as well. So you can really make it as interesting as possible, and players cannot just join your room. You can put a password on, you can even put like a certain NFT contract address on that people have to own a certain NFT to enter. So yeah, that's I think that's really interesting, and it gives a lot of utility to not only your community, but also maybe you have an NFT collection that you would like to add utility to, then yeah, that's also an interesting way to do it. So yeah, I think that covers the question.
Yeah, that definitely covered the question. Thank you for touching on it again. Like you said, some people may have arrived late, so it's good that you kind of went over it again. So that was great. Thank you so much for that. We're now going to the last Twitter question, and then we're going to open up for the community. I can see people have their hands up, so we are going to open it up to the community, and they can text in their questions in a little bit. So the last question was from Kadir, and they said, "What is the advantage of Bit Hotel if you had to compare it against your competitors in the market? What its main advantages which set it aside from its competitors?"
Dream, you can take this one.
All right. I mean, I think when you look at the fact that we're like a one-stop shop, you could really tell when we were kind of trying to explain these questions. It's hard to stop providing details because the kind of the completeness of it. Maybe it's that is, I think, what really makes us stand out. And next to that, I mean, so right now it's 2022, right? We are living in the future. AR, VR, all these hyper innovative like games are coming out. Super awesome, right? But time will tell whether these things are accessible enough to the public in terms of, can they relate to that style of gaming? Do they actually enjoy it, or is it just cool? The idea behind kind of our design is that you feel a sense of nostalgia, right? You want to think back on when you were younger, how it was to play these Flash games, and just because it's an old art style doesn't mean that it's not innovative, right? Doesn't mean that you can have all the beauty of Web3 in this metaverse. At the same time, when you look at the partnerships we have, right? I'm not going to touch on them again, but I think we're partnered with about 15 launchpads at the moment. When it comes to like the media partners like Crypto Banter, Altcoin Buzz, when it comes to the fact that we have started establishing community leaders in the Bit Hotel to have kind of their own, I would almost call it a server to host their community, right? I mean that in combination with all the utilities that we have just I think blows us out of the water. So that's yeah, it's a no-brainer for me.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for answering that question and explaining your competitive advantage to your competitors. I really, really appreciate you guys answering all the questions. Basically, there's so many Twitter questions, but those are the ones that we selected. So what we're going to do now is we are going to open up the chat to the community. I know you guys have been waiting for this. I can see people's hands up. So we're going to open up the chat for 120 seconds, guys. You can drop in any question you have for Leon or Karim so they can answer it on behalf of Bit Hotel. And yeah, as mentioned before, prizes are up for grabs, so you don't want to miss out on that. We're going to be dropping it. We're going to open up the chat now. Guys, don't forget, make sure you're in the voice chat and make sure you're following Bit Hotel. In order to be eligible to win the prize, you have to be following Bit Hotel and be in the chat, okay? So yeah, we'll open up the chat now, so start dropping in your questions. Okay, so what I've done now is I've muted the chat, and people are going to be asking their questions in the chat, and they're going to have 120 seconds to answer questions. If you guys see questions you like, you can pick out the winner, just call out their name and read out their question, and do a little response to them so I can have their name. So at the end, we can announce the winners later on in the day. Is that okay, guys?
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, maybe it's also useful to, once we mute it again, to maybe place our group link as well. Also just quickly double check if people join our community in order to be eligible for the prizes. I think it's fair enough. Yeah, but sure, let's give them all a moment. I see a lot of questions coming in. Quite a lot. Also, a lot of copy pasting, but that's fine.
Yeah, you see the ones you like.
Looks like we're about to break Telegram, guys.
Okay, I'm going to drop your Telegram now just to make sure anyone that does answer any of these questions. Guys, you need to be in Bit Hotel's Telegram. So I'm going to drop their Telegram link now for you guys, okay? See, there's loads of questions coming in already. The chat is muted. Okay, guys, we've muted the chat now. So if you've seen any questions that you like, I think you've got quite a lot of options to pick from. So
definitely plenty to pick from for sure. Actually, there's a lot of people also joining in. It seems like quite a bit.
Yeah.
To scroll through.
Also have their hands up. So if you're want to take anyone that's had their hands up, or you want someone that's from Creative, just like either or. Floor is yours. You can pick whatever you like. So yeah.
I see. Yeah, let's do voice. Let's do a couple from voice first.
Okay, perfect. We do a couple from voice. Okay. Let's see. Who have their hands up the longest? 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna pick Winter. Bear me 1 second. Hi, Winter. You can speak to Bit Hotel. Winter, can you hear us?
You're muted. You're muted. You should unmute. I mean Winter, not you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Okay, let's go to the next person. I can't hear Winter. We're going to go to Lyra. Hi, Lyra.
Some shy people, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Everyone's nervous.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right. Just try and mute a poll and see who actually responds, and then if not, then we'll just stick to text-based questions.
Oh,
Hello.
wait, I can hear a voice.
How are you?
Oh, good. Okay, Winter, you can speak to Leon and Karim.
Can I ask my question?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. My question, is this your project only for elite investor? How about other? With a small fund, is it open to everyone?
So, as a late investor, what's there still to gain? Is that the question?
Okay. Is this your project only for elite investor? How about other? With a small fund, is it open to everyone?
I see. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're not as wealthy, or if you not have large bags in the space, would it still make sense to partake in the BitHotel game or in any sales? Yeah, totally. So very different from what Axie Infinity is doing. We're actually making the game free to earn. So even if you don't own any pieces of the BitHotel, or if you don't own a character, you can still make an account, log in, and play with a default character and earn income that way, or just have fun with friends with the in-game social features. So no, it's totally fine to follow us and see how you can get some upside in any of the things we're publishing or we're releasing, whether that's the game or the marketplace or whatever. And you don't need to be an elite investor or trader or something like that to be able to earn a living by playing BitHotel, or just collect a bunch of cool characters in BitHotel and rent them out to other players. You can just really, especially now because it's so early still. Our game beta is next month, so you're really early in the whole scheme of things. Definitely, right now it makes a lot of sense to try and see how you can get some exposure to BitHotel and maybe partake in the Gamestation room sale. The second-hand prices are already doubled on these assets, so it's I think it's worthwhile, and there's something at every price point as well. And as I said, if you really don't have a penny to spare, then you can also join the game for free when it comes out. So it's all possible.
Brilliant.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
His question. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the question, Winter. Do you want to take some questions from the chat, or do you want to take someone else that's got their hands raised?
Let's do one more voice one, and in the meantime, I'll look for some text-based questions that we haven't answered. Maybe Karim can answer the next voice question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thanks, Karim. I'm gonna open up a chat to Blue Block. Hi, Blue Block. You can ask your question to the team. Hi, Blue Block. Can you hear us?
I was muted. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, Lynn. Hey, Kareem. I had a question regarding, for example, competition, because you mentioned competition. How about Habbo Hotel? I saw, for example, they started as a virtual reality hotel, and now they started into NFT project. Later on, I think last Monday they started introducing currency within the game, so they are actually moving ahead. So any plans to overcome the competition or collaborate with them?
Yeah, I'm actually really happy you asked that question, because it's one that we get asked quite often. Yeah, because I mean, how should I put it? The last year, Habbo has been talking about doing NFTs and entering this market. You have to think about it this way. Habbo was a game that was really big in 2004, right? 2004 was what, 18 years ago. We are building a game from scratch with Web3 incorporated into the basic infrastructure of the game, right? So it's a completely different ballpark. Even though you may look, oh, the designs look similar, oh, it's also a hotel. But when you start looking deeper into the infrastructure of the game itself, when you build something with Web3 in mind from the beginning, you are putting yourself at an extreme advantage compared to a competitor who is trying to convert their existing player base or their existing framework into Web3. So that also has to do with how they market themselves, right? We all know about companies. They like to brand themselves under a certain way, right? But actually rebranding or like trying to change of your company is much harder than trying to set your image from the start, right? Because you start as an unknown company, right? And then you're in full control of how you brand yourself. But once you've branded yourself in a certain way, rebranding that is really hard, really expensive, and not always a success. Correct. Let's see how Facebook is going to do it. But that's another that's another conversation. So yeah, that's really where it starts. And then I don't want to go too deep into Habbo versus BitHotel, but when you look at also their previous NFT sales and their second market, it's not really a success in my opinion. But I will not. Yeah. So here's I hope I give you some ideas to see why what our competitive advantage is. In the end, 80% of our team consists of game developers, Solidity blockchain developers, tech, right? And that is what we're really good at, and we're just using that to catapult ourselves onto the top. And until now, it's looking really good. So I'm really happy.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great question.
Oh, thank you so much, guys, for answering some of the questions of people that got their hands raised. Do you want to take a few from people that have dropped their little message in the text chat?
Yeah, I think I talked so much that Leon had a lot of time to find the question.
I got a couple for sure. Yeah. So there was a question I found from a guy that asked a lot of questions, but they were all different, so it was all fine. He talked about Habbo as well, and more or less like the social-based mechanics that we're implementing. So he read about that people can converse, have conversations in private rooms as well as in more general communal rooms, like the lobby. What are the forms of socializing, he's asking, and how does the token, how does it work with socializing? Is there anything there that is worth pointing out? And then he asked some random questions about throwing parties in private rooms and having people pay to enter a private room. So yeah, quite a bit of questions, but just to briefly go over the first one around communication, I think we'll have text and voice in game, wherein you can of course mute players if they're not nice. So that's just there to keep it a nice place, and to also have moderators. You can report people if they are really not or swearing, or I don't know. There's always some sort of moderation needed to make it nice. So yeah, text, voice. Is there a token mechanic in there? Well, you can haggle or you can trade in game without the use of any marketplace. You can just do peer-to-peer. Use the token in that as well. So if you're, trying to buy somebody's piece of furniture, you can transact with tokens directly. Like there's a trading system, you can, if you own a room, if you buy a room through Gamestation tomorrow, then yeah, you can throw your parties. You can put a password on the room as well. Have people pay to enter before they get the password. There's all sorts of fun stuff you can do in your room, mini games, hosting NFT auctions. There's a whole bunch of stuff possible when you just have the elaborate options to socialize and talk with each other. That's fun, and I think that covers your question as well. So that was Thomas. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have Thomas's name there? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that was a cool question. Everyone wants to do a party in like their own little room, so that sounds good.
Sure, let's do one more, right? Or how many more should we choose?
We can do one or two more. Yeah, or maybe one
Sure.
each. Or, yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I got another text-based one that I found was pretty interesting. It's around a thing I really briefly mentioned. As in, is there any initial cost to start playing the game and earning? As many of the games are built on this initial fee that you have to pay to get a deck or a team together to start playing. Yeah, for us, it's not like that. There are perks to acquiring things like characters beforehand. You'll have a slight advantage in terms of how much you can earn, but you can also just play for free and progress your way through the game in a natural way. So no, it's definitely not needed to own anything in the game. You can just pay with I should say, like, invest your time and earn assets that way, and then slowly build your way up in the hierarchy of rarities. If you're really good at socializing, you'll probably get into really exclusive places as well, and earn money that way, or you'll get in contact with the moderation, maybe our core team, if you have some really cool ideas on how to use specific spaces to make it more fun for the players. Like, there's a lot of ways you can build your way up in our ecosystem and get yourself noticed if you want that. So definitely a lot to be excited about, and we're not trying to be gatekeepers here, so we're really trying to build an open ecosystem that's fun and accessible to everybody, no matter what number they have on their bank account. Yeah.
Brilliant. Very well answered. Was that the last question, or do you want to pick one more?
Maybe Kareem can pick one more, but I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
I can let me quickly take a look. Give me a sec, guys.
All right.
You can also pick one of the voice ones, right, Kareem? Unless you want to hand back the question.
To be honest, guys, I really enjoy the voice. Most of our AMAs are text-based, so it's also nice to talk to a person sometime about this. So it's nice.
Oh, did you say you wanted someone for voice?
Yeah, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, let's see. I think Laura. Okay, is that Laura over here? Okay, let me allow Laura to speak. Bear with me 1 second. Hi, Laura. Laura, can you hear us?
Hello, how are you?
Good. You're free to ask guys any questions.
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, my question is, do the token holder have the right to participate in the governance of the project? What kind of decisions can they vote on about the project?
Thanks for your question. So we have a decentralized governance model. It's a hotel, and it's a Web3 hotel, right? So it has to be decentralized. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very ethical of us. Our parents would not be happy with us. Essentially, based on the distribution of BTH, people have different voting power, and the voting power allows you, first of all, to determine which mini games should come next on rotation. So the community decides what they play, and also which aspect of the Bit Hotel we should develop next, right? As what became clear of this AMA, I think, is that the amount of dimensions that the Bit Hotel has is pretty insane. So obviously we cannot just develop everything at the same time and have it finished at the same time. So the community kind of gets a vote into what they want to see first. Do they want to see more education at the Bit Hotel, more gaming related stuff, more social events, NFT galleries? So, and I think that's really exciting, right? But so that's, I think, what we all agree that decentralized finance should be about, right? It's about the holders having a choice in what comes next for the project. Yeah, thanks for your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering that, Karim. That was great. Thank you so much, Leon and Karim. We appreciate you so much being here today. I know how busy you must be right now. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here with the Gamestation community. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you stake your gamer tokens. The snapshot is at 11:59 p.m. You do not want to miss out on the additional room offering. You want to grab your keys to your new condo and you want to get involved. Leon, Karim, do you want to say any final words to the GS community?
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys all for your time. Sorry that we couldn't take all your questions. It's just too many to answer. If you have questions that you would really like to have answered, or you have marketing proposals, definitely go into the BitHotel chat. You can find our official links on bithotel.io. Just make sure you don't join a scam channel by using the Telegram search, for example. So definitely check us out there and ask your questions if you want to. And yeah, let's keep in touch. We'll hang around to chat for a bit more and speak soon.
Thank you so much, Leon. Hi, Karim.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasure, and thanks for hosting Crypto Cafe. Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure having you guys here. Thank you so much, Leon. Thank you so much, Karim. We're going to drop all the socials to Bit Hotel straight after we come off this AMA, and we're going to announce the winners. And thank you so much, guys. Okay, do not miss out on the Bit Hotel IRO tomorrow, yeah? Okay, thanks, guys. Have a great day.